What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and yes, I've been waiting to talk about this one. This is my review of Ambulance. It's directed by Michael Bay. This is his 15th feature film, and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, Eiza Gonzalez, Garrett Dillahunt, and Jackson White. All right, so let's set the stage. Real simple premise, okay? You got a bank heist gone wrong, okay? And the police have set up a nice little perimeter, nobody in, nobody out, all right? And you got two robbers still in there, brothers. They're trying to figure out, hey, how are we going to get out of this pickle? Oh, I know what we'll do. When we have plenty of injured and wounded people kind of laying around, so when the ambulance comes to pick those guys up, we'll take one of them. Okay, perfect, makes sense. And then the police obviously, hey, we got injured folks back here. All right, come on through, and then we'll just ride out into the sunset. And of course, you know, that don't work because they get caught. And then we're off and running on probably the longest police chase or car chase in movie history. So what did I think about this film? I mean, it's phenomenal, man. It is absolutely phenomenal. This is action the way action should be. Michael Bay, I don't like all of his films, but when I do find one that I like, I love it. This is a genius level directing, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the guy really knows his stuff. Not perfect by any means. This isn't even a perfect film, but this is a film that I just sit back and I just smile from ear to ear as I'm watching it. I had a great time, you know, and the acting is just amazing. It's really the acting. Honestly, it's not even the story. It's really the acting that brings this thing home. So you have Jake Gyllenhaal. He plays Danny Sharp. It's supposed to be like this career criminal, you know, that's, you know, pulled off all kinds of bank heists. And so his brother, which is Yahya Abdul Mateen II, he comes up to him and he says, hey, bro, I need to borrow some money. My wife needs this experimental surgery. And he's like, I got a better idea. Why don't you join me on this bank heist? It's like, no, just give me the money, man. I just need the money. You got it. I'm walking around in this warehouse full of cars. I know you can afford it. Just give me the money. But somehow he talks him into it. And, you know, there it is. And then, of course, you know the rest. So both of those characters, not as well drawn as you would want. I mean, the actors just elevate the material. Let me be honest. Like Yahya Abdul Mateen II, he plays this nice, steady, solid character, you know, believable. You really believe his character. Out of all the acting, I think his is the steadiest. Jake Gyllenhaal is just insane. I mean, he is awesome in this film, and he plays like this demented, psychopathic, like criminal, but charming, right? He's also kind of charming. And that's what really makes this film work, is his charm and his sophistication, his, you know, kind of insanity, you know, really helps. And then you have Eiza Gonzalez, who actually I was surprised. I've seen her in a couple of films before. I definitely remember her from Godzilla vs. Kong. And, you know, she's not just a pretty face. You know, that's what you would think. She's just a pretty face in the film. Nah, she actually acts really well in this. And, you know, from what I understand, just from reading, she joined in with EMTs and with firefighters and other medical personnel for like 3 months. She kind of did ride-alongs with them while they went out there and did their job, so she could kind of get into the role. I think she also rented a ambulance so that she could practice, you know, what she needed to do in the back of this ambulance, because she's in the back of the ambulance trying to do all kinds of just insane stuff, and she needs to keep her balance. And so she said, yeah, I'm gonna rent this ambulance to keep it balanced. Hey, thanks for jumping into the role. That was an awesome job. Garrett Dillahunt, he plays Captain Monroe. He's kind of that guy, you know, that I'm not gonna lose to these guys, and you know, they don't know who they're messing with. He's that guy, right, in the film. And I mean, it's funny. He's funny in this film. He's really funny. And you know, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I sat in the theater, right, you know, just throwing popcorn in my face and laughing the entire film. This thing is high octane, all gas, no brakes. I mean, it is BAYHEM at its absolute finest, and this thing just goes. Like, once they get inside that ambulance, this thing is going a mile a minute, and it is not slowing down for anybody. It is flying, and it's like, okay, all right, here we are. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this. It's unabashed, no holds barred action. And I think Michael Bay probably blew up every car he could find or get his hands on. He flipped them, he blew them up, and, you know, did everything he wanted to do with it. But yeah, let me just go real quickly through the good and the bad. So the good things that I did like: the acting, The acting is solid. It's great. It's energetic. You got this kind of old school kind of, you know, car chase film, and it's like it's mixed with like kind of like 90s like action humor. You know, that's where Michael Bay kind of started in the 90s. So you got that 90s action humor that, you know, we always, you know it when you see it. And then you have like a 70s style car chase that's just going on for the entire film. I mean, the thing goes on for like 100 minutes. It's like it has to be at least 100 minutes of car chase. It's crazy. And then you actually have some Michael Bay references. Like this guy references his own films a couple of times, which I thought was, you know, fun and clever. And, you know, hey, that's the way you do it. You know, hey, I'm gonna throw my old films and, you know, kind of reference those so people can kind of just get a chuckle out of the audience. Like I said, Jake Gyllenhaal, a phenomenal job, phenomenal actor, and, you know, he really holds this film down. He does a great job in it. Now, as far as the bad things, I'm gonna say that the jokes don't always work. There's a lot of jokes and they don't always land. And the second thing I would say is that this film can kind of get redundant. Okay, you got 100 minutes of car chase. At least it has to be at least 100 minutes. You got 100 minutes of car chase, and it's gonna kind of get redundant. It's like, okay, all right, okay. I had fun though the whole time, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, yeah, this is a little redundant. You know, we kind of already did this a little bit, you know, move on to something else, because they throw a lot in it. And, you know, when they start repeating some of the things that are happening, okay, this is getting a little bit old. They also have redundant characters. Like, midway through the film, another, like, FBI guy kind of pops up. He's supposed to be like Danny Sharp's like old friend from college or whatever, and he's like, look, I'm the guy that you need to have in on this thing because I'm the guy that's going to be able to bring him in and blah 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 blah. Look, that guy was redundant. I think Garrett Dillahunt's character was far better, and, you know, it was like you really didn't need two of them, you know. And the other guy really didn't add anything. He had a little bit of humor. There was some funny parts, you know, that I enjoyed. I thought it was good, but for the most part, yeah, like kind of unnecessary. And then the other thing is that, you know, a lot of these characters are given kind of this air of importance. Like, there's a lot of characters that show up late in the film and they're supposed to be important, and it's like, did I miss something? Because this guy's just kind of a guy. Like, why is he like all of a sudden like the kingpin of this whole thing? You know, just felt weird. I'm not sure if there was something that they cut out of this film. Maybe, you know, another 5 minutes of screen time might have made that character kind of land a little bit better. But overall, I had a blast. I had a great time. Like I said, it's not perfect. And let's go ahead and check out the scoreboard, and let's kind of go over some of the good and some of the flaws, and I'll tell you what my scores look like. All right, so here we go, the scoreboard for Ambulance. Let's see what we got. First up, of course, is direction, and Michael Bay is just style. You know this guy's work the moment you see it. You don't even have to know who directed the film, a Michael Bay film. You just look at the film for about 5 minutes and you can say, all right, that's a Michael Bay film, because he has such a certain style. And it's like one of those situations where you either like his style or you don't like it. Now, in this particular film, he actually does a really good job keeping the dynamic between the three leads here. He keeps it going really well, where you kind of don't know what's going to happen next. You know, it's like, okay, you know, is this guy going to turn against her? Is she going to turn against him? Are they going to turn against each other? You know, it's like that action going on inside that ambulance. The whole film pretty much takes place outside the ambulance. Cars are, you know, car chase going on, but inside the ambulance, that's where the action is. And he keeps that, you know, so frenetic and so interesting. So yeah, Michael Bay knows how to get the most action out of every inch of that film reel. Like, he pours himself into every piece of the film, and that's something you have to respect. Even if you don't like the films, even if you don't like Michael Bay and you don't like his films, you got to respect this guy. He is committed to his style. I love it. Maybe you don't, but I love it. And yeah, now the main issue is the length, and we'll get to that, but that was the real main issue, is that this film was just a little bit too long. But nevertheless, I think it's a great job by Michael Bay. I give this direction a 7.5. All right, next up is script and story. So the script isn't the best part of this film, okay? It is not. But I will say this as a positive for it: it absolutely tries everything. It throws the whole kitchen sink at you, and it makes you say, hey, what are you gonna do with this, right? it throws the entire kitchen sink at you from a storytelling standpoint, because you know they're in the back of this ambulance. It's like, how interesting can this be? Oh, believe me, there's a lot that happens back there. Some of it's kind of weird and corny, some of it is absolutely mind-blowing and hilarious, and some of it's really poignant. There's a lot going on inside the back of that ambulance, and then of course, you know, the driver trying to figure out, okay, where am I going? Where's the next exit? You know, how am I going to get out of this situation that I'm in, while you got a lot of action going on in the back of the ambulance? I'm not spoiling anything. You got to go see what's happening for yourself. You're gonna love it. There's levity and humor that comes out of left field. Sometimes that stuff works, sometimes it didn't, like I said, and that's kind of the main problem that I think the script has. And I don't know if it's ad-libbed or not, but that's the biggest issue, is that, okay, some of these jokes don't really work, and it would have been probably better just to try something different. But like I said, this script tries it all. It tries everything. I would say also the weakest part of the film is right towards the end. You know, after the car chase is over, they start getting into a lot of stuff, and it's like, okay, you know, like I said, new characters are kind of introduced, and they kind of resolve something that really wasn't a plot point from the very beginning. So that kind of threw the script for a loop, at least for me. So I'm not sure why they made those decisions, but nevertheless, the script is solid enough to get it a 6.5 for me. I think it was a solid story, solid script. But now we're going to get to acting, and acting is where this film absolutely shines, because, you know, everybody is solid. All three leads do a really, really good job. And Eiza Gonzalez, like I said, she was the surprise, because, you know, she's in most of the like the middle of this thing. You know, she's in the EMT in the back, and her acting, like how she delivers, you really believe her. Like at first it's just like, okay, just, you know, somebody playing an EMT, but you actually believe that she's trying her best to do her job, with, you know, with the situation, making sure that she saves lives. You really believe it, and that was a great job by her. But as I said before, Jake Gyllenhaal is a standout. He stands out far and above the other actors. Not to say that he's these others didn't do their job, they did, but Jake stands out. You can tell he's absolutely loving himself some of the BAYHEM. He is just hamming it up. Like every scene, he is just going for broke. He's just no holds barred. He's going for it, and you love to see it. You love to see actors out there enjoying their work, having a good time, because that makes you have a good time. So I give it up to the actors in this one. I'm going to give them a solid 8. All right, and then finally, sights and sounds. It's Michael Bay, right? It's Michael Bay. So you already know what the sights and sounds are going to look like. There's going to be explosions. There's going to be car wrecks. There's going to be gunfire. There's going to be all kinds of just chaos for, like I said, it's about 100 minutes of just insanity. You don't ever get taken out. You feel like this is part of the entire experience. I think this film is just absolutely phenomenal from those aspects. So I'm going to go ahead and give sights and sounds an 8 as well. And then finally we get to the final score. So when you add it all up and you do the math, you come up with a 7.5. All right, so that's going to do it for Ambulance. That's my review. What did you think? Did you go see this movie? I hope so, because we need more movies like this, really, to kind of offset a lot of the other types of films that we get. This film was absolutely great. I loved every minute of it. And if you haven't seen it, you know, definitely when you get an opportunity, go check this out. You'll be surprised. You know, even if you don't like Michael Bay, I think you will like this film. I think you will like this film. It has a lot going for it. There's a lot of interesting things happening with these three characters that you see right here, but not just them. There's other characters that come in, pop out. It's a lot of comedy, it's fun, it's energy, and it's excitement. And I think that, you know, again, with Hollywood being where it's been over the last couple of years, a movie like this should hopefully take off. All right, but that'll do it for me. I want to thank you for watching. Let's get to the scores, and let's see where Ambulance fell in terms of some of the other films that I've reviewed. All right, so there we go. Ambulance coming in at number 6 with a 7.5. We still got our same top 5 from previously. Number 1, X, followed by The Batman, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, The Cursed and Death on the Nile. All right, so I'm also going to see Sonic this weekend, so I'll probably have a review up for that pretty soon. That'll be review number 15 for me. What does your list look like? Go ahead, jump down in the comments. Let me know where you have Ambulance ranked, and well, the other ones as well. You can kind of just chime in on any of these films. All right, folks, I want to thank you for watching. See you next time.